What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another gameplay breakdown of the Elden Ring footage we published on Friday. I'm your host, Alex Van Aken, joined today by Souls expert Dan Tack. How you doing, Dan?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, thanks for being here today. I just want to go over a couple things real quick. There are going to be spoilers in this video. While I don't think anything we're going to cover here is going to ruin your enjoyment of the final game, as it's still very early stuff in the game, I just want to make sure that everybody who is on board for this is okay with spoilers. And also, there is a commentary-free version, if you'd just like to see the footage, also on the channel. So we got you covered on both bases. Thanks for being here, folks.
And if you don't like rewinds or pauses, maybe not the video for you. Go check out the pure gameplay footage. Because Dan and I, we have control of the footage, and we're going to be, you know, rewinding, fast-forwarding, taking a look at everything we see in this footage. Right, Dan?
Absolutely. All right, let's if you're still here, thanks for joining us. Let's zoom back, Alex. Right here at the beginning, I did not actually find this location. This is all north of Limgrave, okay, in the Raya Lucaria realm. The fog. There's lots of fog, lots of very bold blues, dull blues. This is a very different zone aesthetically, and a lot of different creatures in this zone. Very magical zone. This zone is the home of the Magic Academy. So the two themes here that seem to be running through it are magic and water. Lots of different variables of water. So you got shallow water, deep water, and again, these kind of sync up. They're like the blue magic, blue water, all kinds of things. And this portal, I didn't find this portal, but I found a portal like this in Limgrave. This is how I got to the Divine Tower of Limgrave that I could not access because I was missing one of the half-crescent moons. These are definitely with purpose, and the area that this takes us to, I think, may be very similar to how the portal in the first zone took me to that giant Divine Tower. This may be, when we go through here, again, I didn't find this area, so this may be the Divine Tower of where this second realm, this Raya Lucaria realm. I don't know where exactly it ports us here, so that's interesting. This seems similar to the gate that I saw with the Divine Tower of Limgrave. So I'm going to go ahead and just make that assumption moving forward, that those portals take us to these Divine Towers that are available in potentially every zone, since I discovered it in... I'm just going to say that, yeah, I predict that they'll be in almost every zone as something to find. Since I didn't actually get to go up there, I don't know what's up there.
Sure.
And you're going to hear me say that a lot for this area because I only got 30 minutes in this zone.
Okay.
Of full game time. And 30 minutes in this game, like I said, 10 hours is a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
So 30 minutes is absolutely nothing. And I strove to get around as fast as I possibly could to check things out, but there's a lot to see here. It's a very big area. Again, this is to the north of Limgrave, the green zone, if you will. As you can see, these little frog alien buddies, or whatever we're going to call them, they come in a lot of
love in the comments on the video we posted on Friday.
But yeah, the cartwheel there is pretty amazing. These come in all different kinds. There were different like big guys with clubs, magic users. We're not really sure how these are connected to the Raya Lucaria Academy. These might have been, I don't know, core animal inhabitants of this zone that were warped by the magic of Raya Lucaria as they began doing whatever it is they're doing up there in the big academy. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of context we can discover throughout the game, but I certainly didn't get any for these guys, and they're all over the zone.
Visceral in.
They're sort of like the human enemy, if you will, of this area, the humanoid. As we have other giant non-humanoid characters, from crabs to lobsters and stuff like that, out in the muck, in the swamps, and crystal snails that shoot crystals.
I'm gonna bring us back to the start of this fight.
Yeah, as we see a lot of different weapons on display from both the enemies and the main character here using a spear. And again, they have all kinds of different magic available to them. Again, this is the magic zone. So
yeah,
I bet if you are looking to play this game and load up your magic stuff first, there's a lot to do in Limgrave, but I bet this zone is where you're going to have some really choice options if you dare to come up here before taking on the challenges of Limgrave. It might work out for you in the end. I don't know.
Now this whip that he pulls out in a second, is that just a secondary tool, you think?
Which whip?
Right, that. Oh, he pulled it out a second ago. I think he'll pull it out again and use it in a second. Because I saw a
could
couple
watch them all
comments
day.
asking about that.
I didn't get
Here
to
we
use
go.
any whips or anything. Oh, that looks like a core weapon. That's a that's a weapon we've had access to in Souls games before. The whip. I bet that'll have some really cool weapon arts associated with it in this game, and of course we'll be able to power stance, which means you could potentially have a whip in each hand.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
and do some really cool like mad flailing with them. So again, the power stancing is back in a form from DS2, so that'll be very interesting to explore in the full game. This particular area, I don't know if I spent any time in it at all. I spent time in the directly north of Limgrave, where it was more fog shrouded.
Sure.
And more ocean creatures, and then of course I got routed by the ocean creatures all the way to Realik. Yeah, see, this is more familiar to me.
Okay.
We see another one of those walking. I'm not going to say what's in those, but I think players will find those in several areas, and I think there's very interesting discoveries to be had in those bell beasts. I don't know what we want to call them, and I'm not.
Sure.
I'm really going to go into them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you say anything, but I mean, like, just like looking at there's context clues that we can, guess at what's inside.
Can we? What do you think is inside, Alex?
I think it's a labyrinth of some kind, some kind of
They fit a whole labyrinth in there. I mean, the game's magical, but it
Hey.
ain't that magical. All right,
I'm thinking like Breath of the Wild, the labyrinths. You could they're moving around. You can find them. You can solve stuff. I don't know.
You might find a few of them.
The Souls fans are gonna love me in this video, aren't they?
We're just talking here, Alex. Don't worry
Hey,
about
I'm
it. Don't worry
passionate.
about it.
I'm excited to play this game. You're the expert. I'm asking questions.
Listen, Souls fans are super passionate about this game. So, like, and so am I. And here's the thing that, I came up with the name for this thing. A couple people asked me about this. This is what I call an ethereal candelabra.
That's a good
that name isn't anywhere in the game, but that's what I choose to call these. I found several of these in my playthrough. I found one in Limgrave, found one here. What these do is summon an apparition whose footsteps you will follow to get to a point of interest. So in this case, I believe it is a cave that you might not notice otherwise. I mean, you could certainly find the cave on your own, but if you want to follow this guy, he'll basically take you there. And this is one of the game's conceits that can take you to some points of interest if you need some guidance to find things. Not everything has guidance, obviously. This isn't a game where everything is told to you, but sometimes these can be helpful for finding things. In fact, they're very clever with how they use these because, this is going to... Generally, these trails are going to be full of enemies. You're going to have to go through rather hostile areas in order to get to where they're going to lead you. And this is how smart they... Like, the journey may reveal more to you than the path itself to whatever cave or catacomb or whatever thing that they're going to take you to.
So we've got a mine shaft of some kind.
Yeah, and a lot of people were concerned about that every mine in the game was going to look the same, like the Limgrave mines. But here we can see a very different aesthetic as we go down, and we get under here. So you get down here like, oh man, it's all Limgrave cave all over again. We're just going to get a bunch of reskinned caves and stuff. No, wouldn't worry about that. Every zone, again, very unique in how it handles the dungeon concepts, and I really can't wait to see some of the ones that are much further along in the game. Again, no matter what you see here, this is so early in the game. So early, and there's so much more. Yeah, I know. I can't emphasize that enough. I keep saying it because it's important. Anyway, that stuff on the walls and stuff like there, you can mine that stuff.
Oh, cool. Okay.
The mines you can mark on your map to sort of go back to and get craft materials on the regular. Very handy.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna see down here. Very different looking than the Limgrave mine, which is sort of this is standard. Everything in Limgrave is basically the standard, right? Not generic, but core fantasy, right? Now we're gonna get into different offshoots.
Down.
I know. I found a similar cave to this one when I played. I don't think it was this exact cave, which is interesting enough, but it also had a very deep bottom that I could not get to. So I'm wondering how we're gonna do that. I mean, obviously, had I spent the time, these dungeons have mysteries.
Oh, yeah, it looks like there's a platform right there that we can eventually.
Even the little dungeons have intricate secrets to discover.
Yeah. These are like, sorry, these enemies are. I love their drilling animation. It looks so cool.
Yeah, so this is something you'll notice in this game too. Is a lot of enemies are they're acting with purpose.
Yeah.
In the areas that you find them. If they're miners, they will be mining. I mean, that's not radical or anything, but it adds a nice touch to these zones.
Yeah, for sure.
And I believe they're, you know, this area is very focused on glintstone, so I wouldn't be surprised to see if that was they were mining.
Cool. Anything else before we move on from the mine?
No.
Okay, cool. I will continue the video.
This area here is quite big, so I wasn't in this particular area. The area I was in also had these kind of like building rooftop to rooftops.
Yeah.
But the buildings were more submerged and there was more aquatic life around. Right here we see another one of those minor Erd tree outcroppings, which gives you seeds.
That's what you use to improve, right? Upgrade?
These upgrade your flasks, correct.
Yeah.
And they're all over the world. And so as I said, you know, you could potentially just cruise around the world to find all these goodies before you even start playing the game proper. If you want to.
Flasks and
Yeah, so you have tons of healing or mana ability before you even get started.
All right, cool. I think that's the end of this footage.
Is it? It is.
Oh, there it is. Yes. Cool, Dan. Well, thank you for joining me. I am very excited to play it. It's so evident that this world is made with purpose, and that is really what has attracted me to Elden Ring. That's why I went and played Bloodborne for the first time last month and beat it. This open world looks so much fun, and I wanted like some sort of context to roll into the game with. Yeah, Dan, where can people go if they want to see more Elden Ring content?
Well, I mean, they're already here, right? But of course, GameInformer.com and our Twitch channel are also good sources. I'm sure we'll be doing more in the future. And hey, keep on the lookout. We might even have some more new video coming for you very shortly.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, if y'all want to talk to Dan about Elden Ring, follow him at DanTac on Twitter. You can follow me at itsvanaken. Yeah, subscribe if you're new here. Stick around. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.